Let's learn some fighting games here on First Attack. Hello, my name is James Chen, aka J Chenzor, and one of the hardest things to do in fighting games is picking a character. I mean, honestly, I get a lot of questions from people just starting fighting games, and it's, James, who do I go with? And who do I pick first? And honestly, this is one of the hardest answers to give because there really is no right answer to this. When it comes to picking your character, one of the most important things, honestly, is you having a connection with your character. And this connection can come from all sorts of different avenues. But one of the most important ones, honestly, is just, you know what? I think the character looks badass, Like you just really appreciate the aesthetic of the character. You just look at this character and you're like, this is my character. Picking on aesthetics is usually one of the first ways to go if you have no information on the characters at all. Just go with whomever you think looks cool, start with them, and maybe you'll find a main for life, or maybe you'll actually find out that you guys don't gel as well and you'll pick another character. That's not a problem. But going by aesthetic is usually a really, really important way to go first. Secondly, one of the most important ways to pick a character is based on what you want to do. Right? If you like, for example, just constantly doing stuff and being very aggressive, playing rushdown characters is very important. So you can go online, ask people on social media, who's a good rushdown character to play? If you're a person who likes to annoy other people and kind of be trolly, then sometimes maybe a zoner would be a character for you. This, of course, requires you having some knowledge of what you enjoy in fighting games. And if you're starting from scratch completely, you're not going to have this information. So picking a character based off of a play style, based off of their archetype, is not something that you're going to be able to do. So you'll probably have to stick with the aesthetics option. Kind of in line with the aesthetics idea could just be a character loyalty thing, right? So for example, if you're picking up Street Fighter 6 and you've just always been a fan of Chun-Li, go with Chun-Li. Having that kind of character loyalty, having predisposition towards liking a character usually helps you get good at using the character as well. If you don't like the character that you're playing, trust me, it's harder to really kind of go to war with them in playing fighting games all the time. Make sure you enjoy your character. Now, there is definitely the likelihood that you literally have no idea about anything and you're coming in completely blind. Well, if that's the case, you really have two options. With a game like Street Fighter 6, they have this one-player world tour mode where you're going to be talking to a lot of different masters and learning their moves, like Chun-Li or like Luke, and you're going to be able to learn their moves. And as you play, you'll start finding the moves that you like the most. And in that case, that's maybe the character that you'll decide to go with. Go try some of their trial modes, see what they can do, go read the tutorials for each character if the game so provides them. If your game doesn't provide all these different ways to assess your character, pick up the character, go to training mode. You'll see a lot of games these days like Strive, like Street Fighter 6, their move list commands actually have a lot of information on what the moves are doing and what they're meant to do. And sometimes something will tickle your fancy, like that sounds really, really cool. And even if at that point in time you still can't make a choice, there's always just go with the default character. Now, this is going to be different for every game, but for example, if you play Mortal Kombat, just go with Scorpion, right? He's kind of one of the main characters. In Street Fighter games, it's always been said that Ryu is a great character to learn Street Fighter with. So if you literally have no idea who to play, the default character a lot of times is a good choice. And there is one more way to pick your characters that I have been intentionally leaving out until now, and that is, in the words of the one and only Sanford Kelly, pick a top tier. Perhaps you just want to pick a character that's really strong so you know you can win a lot easier, right? Before you just go, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that. Let's establish a few things here first, okay? Because at a beginner level, you know, if you're just starting out and going to ranked and you're in kind of like the earlier groups, the earlier ranks, the tier lists are not going to make a difference at all whatsoever. Understand that tier lists are something that become more prominent as you get stronger and stronger. This is where playing to win and just having fun are things to consider, because if you're a player, if you're just playing this because you just want to have fun and have a good time and you're not trying to get to the highest level of ranks and everything, play who you want. Play who you have fun with, because like I said, that is absolutely the most number one important thing. For some people, winning is fun, and so winning does become the most important thing, and getting to those high ranks is super important for them. So yeah, at that point, if you are a competitive player and you feel that so much, try to make sure you try to pick someone strong. Now, this last section here that I want to talk about when it comes to picking a character is very important, and I am guilty of this all the time. In fact, I am one of the worst at this, but main thing is don't get married to a character. Now this is really hard to overcome, because once you start playing a character and you start studying and you try figuring out all the things that the character can do, you're figuring out all their setups, their tricks, and all the stuff like that, you gain an attachment to a character. This happens in fighting games really well. That's why fighting game players become so attached to their characters. You played them and you've really gone to battle with them and you just gain this attachment to them. And that can be dangerous in fighting games. If you find yourself at any point in time where you're not having fun with the character anymore, and you're frustrated and you're losing, or even if you are winning but it's just not enjoyable to you, and the joy of the game is going away, be willing to switch characters. I often call this Stockholm syndrome in fighting games, where you almost become a prisoner to a character so much to the point that you feel like you rely on them. Every time you pick a new character, it feels like it's harder to win, even if the other character might be a better fit for you, because you're starting to learn the character from scratch. Learning a character from scratch is a very scary thing, and it helps that in a game like Street Fighter 6, when you go online, every character is going to have different points. So when it comes to picking a character, it's a tough choice to make, because it's a long-term choice, right? Unless you just pick a character and you immediately just like, you know what? I hate this character. But the most important thing is make sure you pick a character that you enjoy and that you are having fun with. This is so fundamental to getting good at fighting games. Make sure you pick someone that brings the joy out of fighting games, because this is a theme that I'm going to be talking a lot about during this series. Make sure you're having fun, because that is what I want to help you pull out of fighting games, is just enjoyment, fun, and having a great time. So if you're enjoying these First Attack videos, check the link down below in the description for the playlist of all of the First Attack videos. I'm just gonna keep making these, okay? So hopefully you find these helpful. Give me a like and a subscribe as well. Put some comments down below so other people can find out about how useful these videos have been to you guys. And so once again, thank you for watching, and never forget that you cannot KO your opponent without your first attack. See you next time.